Hussein Farad is on steroids. Then Hussein, you're a piece of shit. Simple. If you're not willing to sit through this entire video, turn the video off right now. Don't watch it. I'll know by your comments if you actually watch this entire video. Don't ask for my opinion if you can't sit through my reasonings of what I think about Hussein's natural status. What is up? It's your boy Johnny Shreve. I have BB Promo to tell like it is. Finally! I've been waiting to do this video for a long ass time. You guys, what do you mean? This has been I've been waiting to make my point in a video where people would actually listen, and it just so happens to be this entire situation. Part 1. What do I think about Hussein's status? I think that he is natural. Oh my god, John, you're grifting. Is it because you and Greg are friends again? Is that why you're saying it? Are you protecting Greg? No, I do not think this kid has 1 in a million genetics whatsoever. And I'm talking about like what he looks like. 1 in a million genetics? This is not it. This is 100% attainable for anyone who has decent genetics. This is a recognizable good physique. That's a good physique. You know what impressive is? Impressive is Sam Sulek's natural physique. That's impressive. My physique natural is impressive. Sorry, Hussein Farad is not it. There's a reason why you guys think it is, and it's the exact same reason I told Greg. So Greg, don't take any offense to this. I'm gonna be real with you. Here's the point I've been trying to make forever. Forever. You'll understand what I'm actually saying and why I don't do natty or nots. Get me real with you, right? These are facts. Number 1, I said to Greg, this is your fault. And he's like, I know. Why is it his fault? Number 1, the natty or not culture. We can 100% agree that Greg Doucette is the one who made the natty or not culture what it is today. We can say that. There's some other guys who started like the Jason Blahas, I don't know, Kenny KO, but back in the day he was like one of the guys. But I'm talking the one who made this thing what it is today. We can say Greg Doucette is the guy. Here's how it goes, guys. Greg Doucette is a good athlete. Greg Doucette has great genetics. I know Greg Doucette personally, and he is one of the best athletes that I've met. He can do a lot of everything. Greg Doucette is from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. This is Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Yarmouth, Nova Scotia today, the actual, not the surrounding little areas or towns, is 7,848 people as of 2021. It was a lot less than that when Greg graduated. Greg is 40, almost 50 years old. Put it this way, where are you going with it, Johnny? Easy. Like if you live in a small place, you live in an entire city or town or village of 7,800 people now, less than, how many genetically gifted athletes would you grow up around? Probably not many. How many of me do you think he grew up around? None. Maybe one. Maybe one. My confirmation bias when it comes to judging if people are natural or not in terms of like what's achievable is because for me, I was normal. For my athletic ability, the muscle I had in high school, I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of me. Greg Doucette goes from that little area and then goes to university at Acadia University in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Do you know how big Wolfville, Nova Scotia is? 5,000 in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Do you understand? He grew up in a place that is really small. Fast forward to the current day where we already agree that Greg is the guy to say if someone's natural or not. Now, don't get me wrong. Greg 100% can see the difference of natural or not when it comes to the obvious things. When you see somebody that's like Michael Hearn, that's obviously not natural. Greg said this kid has 1 in a million genetics. He doesn't. I refuse to put Hussein Farad in the same class as someone like myself or any other kids that I grew up around that had just as good genetics as I did or better. But here's the problem. When it comes to it, Greg's assessment of what's natural or not is fully exacerbated by his persona and the amount of people and followers that he has and how much little you know about how much Greg actually has in terms of a history being around genetically gifted 1 in a million athletes. How can I successfully say someone has 1 in a million genetics when I've never grew up around 1 in a million genetics? Hussein Farad isn't that impressive. If Hussein Farad is on steroids. Then Hussein, you're a piece of shit. Simple. He doesn't have this overinflated, crazy physique that Greg has made everyone think that he has. So let's just move on for a second to Farad. The second reason why this is all Farad. No one gives a shit who this kid is if it wasn't for Greg putting him on. Now, I saw Hussein commented on my post. I wanted to read it and he deleted it. I only got one part and I had to screenshot it since it stays on, but I wanted to go look for it. I couldn't find it anymore because he took it off. It's funny how everyone is talking without knowing all the facts. I had 1.7 million on IG before Greg even, and then I couldn't read after that. There's a big difference between YouTube and Instagram. There's a massive difference. You don't have to, we can talk about this later, but no one cares about this guy's status if it wasn't for Greg. On this part of Farad, number one, guys, from a coaching standpoint and from having friends that are Middle Eastern, they have genetic gifts to have big chests. I don't know, one, it may be just my confirmation bias, but I can promise you, please, anyone can just comment in the comment section. How many people from the Middle East do you know that work out and have massive chests? Almost all of them do. I don't care. My experience. Now, when you look at Farad in this picture here, I'm showing you on the left, you can see the kid has a pretty good physique. This is actually 19 years old. This isn't 17. There's a big misunderstanding when it comes to his actual status. Like in terms of like, his actual weight when he started. He was only 139 something pounds. He wasn't 120. 3 years, you can put on 40 pounds. Anybody that is a newbie, it has potential to put on a ton of muscle, pending you're doing it right, and pending you have pretty good genetics. And if you have pretty good genetics, you can put on weight and muscle too. I don't believe he's completely honest when it comes to his actual weight. That's another thing. I don't believe this kid at all when it comes to him giving you the actual right information when it comes to how big he actually is. Why? Every picture you see, he's doing the classic this. Look at this. When I used to take pictures, I used to do this. Every picture, I push an arm like this and take a picture. I'm looking over here because I can see myself. Right? That looks massive compared to this. So if I put a comparison picture of my smaller self, who actually does look pretty good for a kid in high school, that to a little girls in high school, like, oh man, you look so good, Farad. Ooh, look at his abs. But if you look at the picture beside him, he's exacerbating everything. So the reason why I don't think he's honest about his actual weight is because everybody, for some bullshit reason, lies about the weight in bodybuilding. They always do. They think that if I say my weight's so much better, the greater than it is, it's got some kind of, I don't understand it. Everybody does. You can literally, I've been there. I've seen people like post their weight and they got like Air Force Ones on, jogging pants and shit. And they're already impressively massive, but they need those extra 5 to 10 pounds of clothes on them to say that they're, I'm 300. It's like, dude, it's okay to say you're 290. Who cares? Every picture I see this kid put out, he doctors it. Here you go again, in good lighting. His camera's down like this, right? To make everything look bigger. Everything. This, to me, is a good physique. This is not 1 in a million genetics. This is achievable. I coach people like this. Here, let me show you an athlete of mine that is natural. Am I allowed to put you on blast on the video? All right, perfect. All right, cool. All right, Skylar just told me. I'm like, how much weight did you gain the first year? He's like 20 pounds. How much after that? He's like 8-ish. I'm like, how much after that? He's like around like 3 to 5. I'm like, yeah, so like what? In like 3 years around like what, 30 pounds? Yes. Aha, of course. This is Skylar when he started, 105 pounds. This is Skylar now. This is impressive. You see that's impressive. And this kid is 23 years old. If Skylar jumped in the show that Farad was doing, Farad wouldn't be taking anything home. It would be this guy, you'd be saying, oh, he's not natural. Or Greg might take a video and be like, there's no way you can achieve this. You telling me? Are you trying to tell me that Farad looks like this? Do you know how big he is? When someone's like, Alex Eubank, you think he's on steroids? I'm like, not then, now for sure. And you can see it because, you know what? I've been around it. So when Greg says, I think he was on steroids before, I think he's been juicing this entire time. It's coming from somebody who's never been around genetically gifted athletes when he was growing up. Do you guys not get that into your heads? Again, nothing against Greg. Greg is taking what he knows and putting it out there. For again, when it comes to Farad, Hussein, I believe Hussein is lying about his actual weight. I believe he's deceitful 100%. Because again, when he posts a video and it's like, well, I said that in like 2 other videos that, you know, they didn't test me. Nah, motherfucker. You didn't come out and just say that, dog. Nice try. You're deceitful in that way. So your deceit, you doctoring your photos, you lying about your actual weight, only brings negative attention to people who already think you're not natural based on Greg Doucette, who's never been around actual athletes in the beginning stages of his life. And guess what I'm not gonna do? I'm gonna put my reputation on the line for some kid who just wants some fame for nothing. Sorry, Hussein. My bad. Just tell it like it is. You have done nothing to achieve what you have, but been put on blast by Greg. And to be honest, Greg is now getting a backlash to this because he made you his business partner. That looks bad. So no matter what Greg says about what he believes, no matter what, of course he's gonna say he's natural. He's his business partner, and everyone has the right to think that and believe that. Said the same thing to Greg. The narrative that has been created, you have started, and you gave people fuel by doing natty or nots, and then making the gold standard of what is natty or not, and who can say it. Yourself, saying you're 99% right all the time, saying that all the ways that you can fail, that you could trick a drug test, saying that you need all these things, and you put all of the things out in people's minds. What has happened, and the reason why I don't like natty or nots, is because it has heightened the bar so high that it gives people like Hussein Farad these almost god tier genetics when he doesn't have god tier genetics. And you guys are like, oh, now you're just hating. No, I'm not, man. You see my client. He's not a one-off. I've coached a bunch of kids, 20-something-year-olds that are natural. Not everybody wants to do steroids. Natty or Nots has made you guys believe that things are not achievable when they are. That's all it has done. I told Greg this. When you call out people and they have millions of subscribers, those millions of followers that like the guy that you called out, there's gonna be a chunk of them that do not like you. And when you do that, a lot of the times there's gonna be a lot of people who do not like you. So when they find a chink in the armor or a mistake that you made, they're going to flood the gates and they're gonna say everything in the world because they're waiting for you to slip up. People want this to be your downfall. They want it to be. And Greg said this to me too. He made his own bed. You got a kid that started training because he wanted to get the girls. So he's gonna do everything he can to be impressive to somebody. And when anybody starts their fitness career to just impress people, they're going to do things that are not honest. I don't believe that it's taking steroids. I think it's lying about his starting weight. I think it's doctorating all of his photos. I think it's telling everybody that I'm natural. Oh, no one, who cares? And again, the only reason why we're talking about this is because Greg did a natty or not on his kid. If Greg never did a natty or not on Hussein, we wouldn't know or care. Wouldn't. And that is a fact. Greg's the standard when it comes to natty or nots. The only problem is that the base of his natty or nots is coming from a person who grew up in a town of 700 to 800 people. To wrap this up, Hussein does not have 1 in a million genetics. Hussein's physique has been exacerbated by Greg saying that it is, by him doctorating everything and lying about his weight, and everybody making a big stink about what is actually achievable. Because if anything, it's ripping you guys off. Because if you think that his physique's not achievable, you guys all just better stop working out. And I am dead serious. Because I got a kid right here who's way better than him, who I'm coaching, who's 1,000 times more humble, who keeps his shit quiet, does his work, finishing his university, doing all the things he's doing, and not doing any of this shit for fame or for glory or for subscribers or viewers. Because if he was, you would have already heard about him. That's all I got, man. I'm not even gonna punch my coaching in there. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, guys, you don't have to agree with me, But again, if you don't watch the whole video, I don't want you commenting. And if I see your comment, I'm gonna blast the hell out of you. I'm gonna troll the shit out of you. Dead serious. If you go on there and say, oh, you didn't watch the video. Because this video is the most realest video you've seen about Natty or not shit. Till next time, guys, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Keep dream chasing. Peace.